What if gold could speak? What if desire, death, love, and eternity could be painted? Not with realism, but with symbols. Gustav Klimt didn't just paint portraits. He wrapped human emotion in gold, ornament, and mystery. And more than a century later, his images still hypnotize us. Today, we're counting down the top 10 masterpieces of Gustav Klimt, from 10 to the one painting that turned love itself into legend. Gustav Klimt was one of the most influential artists of the Vienna Secession, a movement that rebelled against traditional academic art at the turn of the 20th century. Known for his golden phase, Klimt fused symbolism, eroticism, and decorative brilliance like no one before him. His work often explored themes of love, femininity, death, and the subconscious, long before psychology made them fashionable. Loved by collectors, feared by conservatives, and endlessly studied today, Klimt remains one of the most recognizable artists in art history. Let's begin our countdown. Number 10, Hope II. We start with Hope II, one of Klimt's most emotionally complex works. The painting shows a pregnant woman, her head bowed, surrounded by dark, almost ominous figures, symbols of illness, death, and anxiety. Yet despite the heavy atmosphere, the central figure radiates quiet resilience. Today, Hope II is housed at the Museum of Modern Art in New York, where it continues to challenge viewers with its contrast between vulnerability and endurance. Interestingly, this painting was considered deeply controversial in Klimt's time. Pregnancy was rarely depicted so openly in fine art. From the very start, Klimt forces us to confront life and fear in the same breath. Number 9, Portrait of Emilie Flöge. This portrait depicts Emilie Flöge, fashion designer, muse, and possibly the most important woman in Klimt's life. Draped in a flowing, abstract dress, she appears both distant and commanding, almost dissolving into pattern and color. The painting is currently held at the Kunsthistorisches Museum in Vienna, alongside many of Klimt's early works. What makes this portrait fascinating is how modern it feels. Emilie's dress anticipates the radical fashion designs she would later create herself. Rather than intimacy, Klimt offers admiration from afar, blurring the line between personal affection and artistic ideal. Number 8, Death and Life. In Death and Life, Klimt presents one of his most philosophical visions. On one side, death, cold, skeletal, and watching. On the other, a swirling mass of bodies representing love, youth, and human connection. This monumental painting is displayed today at the Leopold Museum in Vienna. Klimt reworked the painting several times over 5 years, refining its balance between menace and tenderness. Despite death's looming presence, life appears defiantly vibrant, as if unaware or unwilling to surrender. It's a reminder that Klimt saw beauty not as denial of death, but as resistance against it. Number 7, The 3 Ages of Woman. This hauntingly gentle painting explores the cycle of human existence, childhood, motherhood, and old age. The figures are intertwined, yet emotionally isolated, emphasizing the inevitability of time. The 3 Ages of Woman is now part of the Galleria Nazionale d'Arte Moderna in Rome. Unlike many allegorical works, Klimt avoids drama here, instead offering quiet acceptance. Gold and ornament soften the harsh reality, transforming aging into something solemn rather than tragic. Number 6, the Beethoven Frieze. Created for the 14th Vienna Secession exhibition, the Beethoven Frieze is not a single painting, but a monumental visual symphony. Inspired by Beethoven's Ninth Symphony, Klimt translated music into image, portraying humanity's struggle, desire, and final redemption through art. Today, the frieze can be seen in its original location at the Secession Building in Vienna. Initially meant to be temporary, the work survived only because of its overwhelming impact. This is Klimt thinking beyond canvas, merging sound, space, and symbolism into one immersive experience. Number 5, Danaë. Danaë is one of Klimt's most openly sensual works. Based on Greek mythology, the painting shows Danaë receiving Zeus in the form of golden rain, a moment of divine intimacy. The painting is currently held in a private collection, rarely displayed publicly. Klimt breaks tradition by depicting Danaë curled inward, fully absorbed in sensation rather than seduction. Gold here is not decoration. It becomes desire itself, flowing, warm, and overwhelming. Number 4, the Tree of Life. With its spiraling branches and cosmic rhythm, the Tree of Life is one of Klimt's most symbolic creations. It was commissioned for the Stocklet Palace in Brussels, where it still remains as part of a private interior mosaic. The painting represents interconnectedness, life, death, and eternity bound together. The spirals suggest infinity, while the figures grounding the tree remind us of human fragility. It's Klimt at his most decorative and his most philosophical. Number 3, Judith and the Head of Holofernes. This painting shocked audiences when it was first unveiled. Judith, the biblical heroine, is shown not as a humble savior, but as a seductive, victorious woman. The work is displayed today at the Belvedere Museum in Vienna. Klimt emphasizes power through gaze and posture, turning Judith into a symbol of dangerous beauty. Many critics at the time accused Klimt of immorality, but the painting became one of his defining statements on female authority. Number 2, Portrait of Adele Bloch-Bauer. The first. Often called the Woman in Gold, this portrait is one of the most famous paintings in the world. Covered almost entirely in gold leaf, Adele Bloch-Bauer seems to emerge from a dreamlike surface of symbols and geometry. Today, the painting is displayed at the Neue Gallery in New York. Its dramatic history includes Nazi theft and one of the most famous art restitution cases ever won. More than a portrait, it's a fusion of identity, wealth, and immortality frozen in gold. Number 1, The Kiss. At number 1, there could only be one painting. The Kiss is Gustav Klimt's most iconic masterpiece, a universal symbol of love. The couple dissolves into gold, pattern, and tenderness, suspended outside time. The painting is housed today at the Österreichische Galerie Belvedere in Vienna, where it remains the museum's crown jewel. What makes the Kiss extraordinary is its balance: intimacy without explicitness, passion without chaos. Klimt turns a single moment into eternity. Bonus: Portrait of Elisabeth Lederer. As a special bonus, we're ending with one of Gustav Klimt's most powerful late portraits, Portrait of Elisabeth Lederer. Painted during Klimt's final years, this work reflects a striking shift toward modernity, with bolder brushwork and a more psychological presence. Elisabeth Lederer, the daughter of one of Klimt's most important patrons, is depicted with a quiet intensity, elegant, restrained, and deeply human. The background is no longer dominated by gold, but by painterly texture, signaling Klimt's transition beyond his iconic golden phase. The painting remained in private hands for decades and resurfaced dramatically in 2022, when it sold for the highest price ever paid for a work from the modern art period, setting a historic auction record. Today, Portrait of Elisabeth Lederer stands not only as Klimt's farewell to portraiture, but as a milestone in the art market itself. From life and death to love and desire, Klimt transformed human emotion into visual poetry. His art doesn't explain, it invites, seduces, and lingers. More than a century later, these works still speak the language of the subconscious. If you enjoyed this journey through Klimt's golden universe, don't forget to like the video, share it, and subscribe to the channel for more art history stories. And tell us in the comments, which Klimt masterpiece speaks to you the most and why?